Hi, my name is Dave Brubaker, and for the next couple minutes, I'd like to talk about how growing potatoes in space is helping rid the Earth of COVID-19. The first vegetable NASA chose to grow in space was potatoes. But the problem was, as plants grow, they release ethylene gas, and that helps them to mature and ripen. However, ethylene gas also accelerates decay. So, in an enclosed place like the space shuttle, the gas will build up and cause plants to mature and ripen prematurely, resulting in small, rotten potatoes. So, here's a picture of astronaut Catherine Coleman in October 1995, checking on the potatoes growing in the middeck of the Space Shuttle Columbia. So, NASA's challenge was to remove the ethylene gas. So, scientists at the Wisconsin Center for Space Automation and Robotics created an ethylene scrubber by exposing oxygen and water to ultra thin layers of titanium dioxide and UVC light, converting ethylene into carbon dioxide and water, two substances that plants love. To their amazement, the ethylene scrubber also destroyed cell walls of bacteria and tore apart viruses and decomposed mold spores and other allergens in the air. Well, our company, Vollara, acquired the rights to re engineer this PCO technology for commercial use, and it's known today as ActivePure. ActivePure Technologies' home office is in Dallas, Texas, and our manufacturing facility is in Bristol, Virginia, and we are proud to say that our products are made in the USA. So here are some of the technologies inducted into the Space Technology Hall of Fame over the last 30 years. These are technologies that were developed for space but found useful in daily life, such as the GPS or a pacemaker, LASIK surgery, and then laser therapy, temper foam, and the Locklear implant, which helps deaf people to hear again. And then satellite radio came from NASA, and there's Active Pure. So there were 75 technologies inducted into the Space Technology Hall of Fame, and Active Pure is one of those 75. Um, this shows inducted in 2017. There is the certificate for Active Pure Radiant Catalytic Ionization. ActivePure neutralizes viruses by dispatching submicroscopic particles created by a patented matrix coating and a specific wavelength of UVC light traveling at about 1,200 feet per second. The particles collide with viruses, bacteria, and pollutants in the air and immediately turn them into harmless elements in real time. So it's the only technology of its kind. Um, Vollara Air and Surface Pro has this technology, and it reduces airborne and surface viruses, removes odors, freshens the air, removes dirt and dust from the air. It actually drops dirt and dust from the air 200 times faster than gravity. Ionizes and oxidizes air, provides ozone-free surface cleaning. Um, Inside this device, we have a new and improved patented cell design that delivers Active Pure to the air and surfaces. What it does is it sucks in H2O and oxygen and hydrogen from the air. It puts them through this special matrix that's coated with titanium dioxide, and it creates oxidizers. They're hydroxyls, superoxides, we call them, also hydrogen peroxide. And these go out into the air um, from our ductwork, and they blow through the space. They are seeking out viruses and contaminants where they are. And as we said, they are travel at about 1,200 feet per second, and they destroy viruses and contaminants on contact and in real time. So both in the air and on surfaces. Now, Unlike old school technologies that require room air to pass through a series of filters and a UV light, it only treats what passes through the unit. It does not treat surfaces. Chairs, tables, magazines, shelves, clothing, etc. cannot pass through, and they remain contaminated. So also UV light is not effective against viruses. It must be UVC light, which in it by itself is dangerous, but in our application, it is safe. Um, Regarding UVC light, researchers at Columbia University found continuous exposure to UVC light at the current regulatory limit would kill airborne viruses by about 90% in 8 minutes, 99% in 16 minutes, 99.9% in 25 minutes. The problem is that airborne viruses being rushed past a UVC light are not affected. So active pure technology is different, and we are sending our hydroxyls out into the air to kill contaminants where they are. It eliminates over 99.9% of contaminants and viruses on surfaces and in the air. So here's an example. The airborne SARS-CoV-2 virus reduction. This was a test done at the University of Texas Medical Branch in FDA approved labs. And in 3 minutes, reduced SARS-CoV-2 virus by 99.9%. Active Pro in the home. It looking at the airborne bacteria, fungi, surface bacteria, air fungi, and so forth. Here's a Petri dish that shows in just the home of one elderly individual. And then it's shown that airborne bacteria went from 1,200 down to 2, 984 for fungi down to 0, surface bacteria 3,120 down to 11, and so forth. From air particles 26,500 down to 260. And so that is very encouraging. This Petri dish shows mold growth in a room before Active Pure, and then it's the same Petri dish just 8 hours after Active Pure was turned on. So it definitely works. A growing number of medical professionals and respiration experts warn that evidence shows masks have little to no impact on viral spread. Viruses don't just enter us through our mouth and nose, but also through our eyes and the pores of our skin. The only effective barrier one can wear to protect against virus exposure would be a fully encapsulated hazmat suit with wrists taped to gloves and ankles taped to boots. So this shows particle size from a beach, from a sand on the beach to a grain of salt. We've got a white blood cell, grain of pollen, red blood cells. Here's a respiratory droplet. It's 5 to 10 microns, and they are carrying the little tiny viruses inside of them. And that's what we are wearing masks to protect ourselves from. But the virus themselves, our corona is just 0.1 to 0.5 microns, can go right through a mask. So the Centers for Disease Control, right on their website, they have this upside down pyramid, and it's called the hierarchy of controls. And down at the bottom is the least effective, and at the top is the most effective, beginning with the PPE, protect the worker with personal equipment. So we've got protection equipment that people are wearing. And then number 2 is change the way people work. So they said, let's work 6 feet apart. Engineering controls, isolate people from the hazard. Those who can, start working from home, isolate. And then you can replace the hazard, but the very best and most effective way is to physically remove the hazard, and that's exactly what Active Pure does. We are doing exactly what they tell us to do. So here is a new improved patented Active Pure cell. It's what it looks like. It's what's on the space station, and it physically removes the hazard. Over 99.9% reduction in surface and air contaminants. So with ActivePure, schools and businesses and churches are reopening with confidence, and it's backed by real science. So let's take a look at some of that. Here's a window cling that can go on your front door if you're operating ActivePure in your business. For the safety and protection of our patrons and personnel, these premises are being treated 24/7 against COVID-19 with ActivePure technology. It reduces the SARS-CoV-2 virus by 99.999% in the air and on all surfaces inside. So let's look at some of the science. Here's a Kansas State University did a study effectiveness of the ActivePure technology in destroying viruses and bacteria. Real quickly, the avian flu, um, greater than 99%, and this was within 24 hours. The swine flu, which was a scare some years back, um, again, greater than 99%. Staph, also known as MRSA, something that hospitals really work hard to avoid, greater than 99%. And then strep, which keeps a lot of kids out of school, also 99, greater than 99%. And that was within a 24-hour period. Here's also with the Kansas State University, it's over 24 hours, staph E. coli, MRSA, strep, and all these other ones that we just looked at, the norovirus, they all down to greater than 99% in 24 hours. This is excellent, excellent for schools. So here's the average percent RNA virus reduction in 30 minutes, 99.999%. We call that a 5-log kill because it's 5 digits. And then after 1 hour, it's 99.9999%, a 6-log kill. So here is DNA virus reduction. And by the way, the one we were looking at before is an RNA virus reduction, and that is COVID-19. It is an RNA virus. And then this is a DNA virus, same thing. Average percent bacteria reduction. So this is a positive bacteria, which would be MRSA, staph. And this is a negative bacteria, same thing, 99.999%. The average percent spore forming mold reduction. This is also known as black mold, Aspergillus, and 99.99%. And this is all done at the University of Texas Medical Branch in their biosafety levels 3 and 4 that comply with FDA protocols. And then we have the airborne contaminants. This is done for the University of Cincinnati. And less than 25 minutes, ActivePure reduces over 90% of contaminants floating in the air. It's 50 times more effective than normal HVAC filtration. It's also drops particles to the ground 200 times faster than gravity. How about going into a hotel? Have you ever thought about this? Hotel fungus, the TV remote, the desk surfaces, the carpet, HVAC, the light switch, the door handle, all down to 0 after 24 hours. And it stayed at 0 30 days after treatment. Then we've got hotel bacteria, also going down to almost 0, actually to 0 within 24 hours. 30 days later, the only one that's increased substantially would be the light switch because it got used a lot, and then the door handle. But wonderful. Here is professional baseball locker room. It was tested there, and the bacteria went from 60,000 after 120 days to 0. And then we've got the fungi, MRSA. Imagine paying these guys the huge amounts of money they get, but having to sit out a game because they were exposed to a fungi or a bacteria. This shows air particles from 83,000 down to almost 0, and 1 year later, still down. ActivePure installed in Indiana and Ohio schools. Here's an Indiana school. In month 3 of the school year, they had 118 dismissals because of flu. And by month 5, they had installed half of the units. There were only 13 dismissals. By month 10, only 13 dismissals. A one in year 1 of an Ohio preschool, 30 absentees, their dismissals because of flu-related illness. And the second year, in year 2, with Active Pure, they only had 3. Um, this is a must for preschools and schools. So where is Active Pure used? Well, it's millions of homes and school classrooms, Major League Baseball facilities, state capitol buildings of Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi State University. The Philadelphia school system just put a huge number in, one in every classroom. International Space Station is where all this started and is still being used. The Cleveland Clinic just put 2 in each one of their 50 operating rooms. So the credibility is there, folks. It's being used at the Ground Zero Museum to keep everything sterile. The Active Pure is installed at the Liberty Bell Museum in Philadelphia. It's being used within the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. So how is Active Pure different? Well, let's suppose you own a business. You follow all the rules. You've got the mask on, you've got the 6-foot rule and so forth and so on, and your business space is 100% COVID free. But a COVID carrier walks in and sneezes. Without Active Pure, the carrier is now a COVID spreader, and your business is no longer COVID free. With Active Pure, the COVID droplets expelled by the carrier into the air and on surfaces were destroyed immediately, and your business remains virus free. So this is destroying the virus in real time. It makes it different. We have several different applications. From the right side, there's a little Fresh Air Personal. It hangs around your neck or clips on your shirt pocket, and it kills the viruses within 3 feet of you. There's a Fresh Air Mobile, which is used in a lot of school buses, also motorhome, your car, taxi drivers, Lyft, Uber, covers 350 square feet. It would also be good for a hotel room when you're traveling. Just plug it in while you're in that hotel room, or a small office. And then our Air and Surface Pro covers 3,000 square feet. It's only about 10 inches by 10 inches by 12 inches. And that's all you need. It's going to suck it up into the return air vent, blow it out through the air ductwork, and cover the entire space. So Active Pure Technology inducted into the 2017 Space Technology Hall of Fame by the Space Foundation. It's the only air, it's not really an air purifier, it's an air sanitizer. And it's the only air unit in the Space Technology Hall of Fame, which puts it head and shoulders above everything else. So Air and Surface Pro, the smart solution for everyone. Ask us about special promotions, quantity discounts. Call me, Dave, at 717-283-7314. Visit my website, healingair.info. Thank you for listening.